Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today to do the mid-year book freakout tag, and once again, I am doing it just a little bit late. I think I've done it late every single year. Happens. I'm actually really excited though because I feel like it's been a really long time since I've actually filmed a tag video and I'm just like so ready. I want to lead this off by saying I'm not going to be giving very thorough descriptions for any of the books that I hold up. Some of them I might, but for the most part I kind of just want this to be about showing the books and giving you some chit chats about my experiences with them or the experiences I haven't had with them, but I will be linking them down below just in case you are curious about them or need more information. Also, really fast before we get into the video, I do want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this. I will talk a little bit more about them a little later on in the video, so just stay tuned. So the first question is the best book you've read in 2020. And I honestly, I don't know what to tell you. You guys already know that I'm a Sarah J. Maas stan. This has taken the place as probably my new favorite of all of her books, which in theory means that this might be my favorite book. I don't work in definitives though, so overall though, this is definitely my favorite book that I've read this year. I cannot say that she does not have trashy writing, and I cannot say that she doesn't have certain tropes that she likes to reuse in all of her books, but I will say that the minds of her characters are what I relate to the most in her stories and the reason that I end up falling so deeply in love with them. And for this one specifically, I feel like Bryce, which is the main character, is the character that I've related to the absolute most out of every single character she's written, and I just really related with her struggles, with how she thought. I just related, you know what I mean? And I think that that's why these always just hold such a special place in my heart. And look how freaking pretty that book is. Also, for all of you that keep on asking, yes, the Crescent City vlog / review will be coming soon, hopefully by this month. I keep putting off editing vlogs because vlogs stress me out to edit, but I know I want to get this one up because there's so many thoughts. So yeah. I also wanted to say I'm gonna try to not be doing any kind of repeats for any of the books that I mentioned, so we'll see how well that goes. The second question is the best sequel you've read so far, and I actually have only read one sequel, I believe. And I'm not gonna count my Shadowhunter rereads because that just doesn't count to me in my head, but I've only read one new sequel, so it has to be Soul of the Sword by Julie Kagawa. And originally I did give this book 5 stars, but honestly, ever since finishing it, and this is kind of how I felt with Shadow of the Fox as well when I read it, as much as I adore the story and I have a really good time when I'm reading it, it is kind of forgettable, for me at least, and I feel like that is the main reason that it can't be a 5 star. At least this second book cannot be a 5 star to me. It's definitely a 4 though. It's really good. I still highly recommend the series. I just really feel like you're watching a TV show almost while you're listening or reading it. I really like her way of writing, and it just like really adds to the story and the entire vibe of this misfit group of just a bunch of misfits on a journey that is way bigger than anything that they can handle. But also this second book tackled a lot of very serious situations, and it got pretty dark at times, so it's kind of strange that I still see it in a very happy light. I don't know what to tell you about that. So number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and I have a few answers for this. Basically anything that was in my anticipated releases video that I haven't read yet that has come out, that's on the list. For one, Heart of Flames by Nikki Palpretto. I was so excited to get my hands on this edition. This is the exclusive Owl Crate edition that they did with her, and I loved the first book last year, Crown of Feathers, and I just can't believe that I still haven't even picked up Heart of Flames. I mean, I can believe it because I've been in what you might call a slump, but I'm still really sad that I haven't picked it up yet, and I definitely want to actually physically read it this time because as much as I did really like— oh my god, is there pictures? Wait, am I losing it? I could be losing it. The thing is my ring light has to be a lot closer to me right now because I don't have a tripod and my eyes are kind of going. Oh my gosh, there's like stuff in here. Okay, I do want to physically read it because even though I really loved my experience of listening to the first book, I think that I would have absorbed it so much better and loved it even more if I'd physically read it, and I think that I've been waiting for myself to get into a physical reading mood again so that I could start reading Heart of Flames. So yeah, but there's a few more on this list. For one, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This was actually in my June TBR and I didn't get to it because I kept putting it off until the end of the month because I knew it was going to be such a fun read, and then I didn't have time to read it. So this is definitely on that list. So is Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. This was on my anticipated releases video, but I did get 2 editions. I got the Owl Crate and FairyLoot box that had them in, and this is the FairyLoot, and it's just so pretty, and I just, you know, wanted to show you. All these books are actually stunning. Like, this is a good looking group. Wow. Oh yeah. Guys, just in case you didn't see my vlog where I was very shocked by this, look how cool this book is without its dust jacket. We love her naked. And lastly, I also really want to read Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. I hadn't heard about this book at all before I received it in a FairyLoot and an Owl Crate. This is the FairyLoot edition once again, but it just sounds right up my alley. It's a fantasy story and it kind of is giving me very, I mean, someone told me specifically what it's being based off of, but what I can tell you is that it's a Spanish-inspired fantasy because I no longer remember what the comment said in this moment. My memory is atrocious and I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, this and so many more. I mean, I have not been reading this year. Number 4 is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and while I feel like my very obvious answer is the new V. Schwab book that's coming out, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I'm so excited about that just because I know I love V. Schwab's writing. I'm very enamored with her style and it just sounds so cool. I mean, a girl who basically sells her soul to stay young forever, but the price is that every single person she ever meets forgets her, and then someone doesn't forget her. I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about that one. I love how that's the first summary I've given you this entire tag. Like I said, I'm not meant to be giving summaries. I'm sorry if that annoys any of you. But I do have a ton of others on my list. I mean, I do have the ones that are, again, on my anticipated releases video, specifically Star Daughter is one I'm super excited for. Smash It by Francina Simone is coming out later this year, which is really exciting. It sounds amazing and it's just really cool because Francina Simone is a booktuber and one that I've watched for so long, so can't wait for that one. And then I wrote down some more because I knew I was gonna forget them. But there's Court of Lions, Vicious Spirits, Legendborn. Legendborn looks so cool. I stumbled on it the other day when I was going through Amazon, like just liking a whole bunch of books, and it looks so cool. And is that really all I wrote? I knew I'd written more, but that's all the post-it has. So those are definitely some of the books that I'm really anticipating coming out later on in this year. I feel like a ton have already come out that I was excited about, like Lobisona and Cinderella's Dead. There's more, but my memory, we know. Number 5 is The Biggest Disappointment, and for me, this isn't a very clear answer. I have about 2 books that kind of can be held accountable for this. The first one being Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. I gave this 2 stars, so out of all the books I've read this year, this is my lowest rated book. I was just overall very confused with the pacing of the story. I think it had so much potential in the start, but it just did not follow through. I feel like the plot itself just didn't seem very planned out, if anything, and I was honestly shocked that at the end, it wasn't just the end. I don't know why I thought it was a standalone, but I did, and so when I listened to the entire thing, not particularly enjoying it, not particularly enjoying specifically the character development and character relationships. I mean, there's flawed characters and then there's just like annoying situations because our main character was kind of a little too much of a pushover and I didn't like that. But then at the end, when I got to the end and it was a cliffhanger, obviously, because there's gonna be another book, I was even more disappointed, so I think that had a big impact on why I gave it a 2-star. But my other one, which is a more recent disappointment, is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, and the reason for this isn't because I rated it super low. I actually gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, which is an average rating, guys. That's not a bad rating, but I only call it a disappointment because I really thought that I was going to love this book. Like, I went into this expecting to be enamored by the end. I just knew I was gonna love it. I thought that it sounded right up my alley. I mean, there's a prince, there's a journey, there's a girl that's like dressing up as a man because, you know, girls are not... men think girls can't do anything in this world, but I was sorely disappointed, and I ended up discovering it was mostly because I didn't feel like I was truly there. Like, the actual wording of everything was beautiful. I think Hafsa Faisal has a very lyrical way of writing, but a really terrible way of world building. And that didn't make any sense because she can really clearly tell you about the dunes and everything, but I have no sense of this world, and I feel like the journey was a little rushed. The characters I didn't find very believable at times, and the relationship is one that I just really didn't feel anything towards. That's why I felt kind of disappointed, but I'm still gonna give the second book a try. This one I'm not so sure, you know? Number 6 is the biggest surprise of this year, and I am so excited to tell you guys that it's The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. I love Roshni Chokshi's writing. I have really enjoyed all of her books that I've read, so I don't know why it took me so long. I mean, I do know why. This book has received a lot of just bad mouthing in the book community, especially on book Twitter, but especially when it first came out. There were so many people that were so excited about it, and then all I kept seeing was, "This is exactly like Six of Crows. This is exactly like Six of Crows." And there were some of the people that were like, "This is nothing like Six of Crows, you're crazy." But since they were such a minority, I wasn't encouraged to read the book. I was like, okay, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but now I'm kind of scared to read it. And I'm so upset with myself because when I finally got down to reading this book, I adored it. This is nothing like Six of Crows. I am nothing like Six of Crows. I mean, you can kind of draw some parallels in the group of characters in this, and only because like you can kind of see similar traits, but I mean every single like group of people that's going to perform some sort of heist has these kinds of similarities. Like you can see this in all kinds of movies, all kinds of books. I mean, Mistborn. Like Mistborn alone, you could probably draw similarities between this and Six of Crows and, I don't know, Ocean 8. Like, that's gonna happen in a band of people that want to steal something. But other than that, the plot is completely different. The world is so beautiful and rich, and I felt like I was there, and I really enjoyed it. I loved these characters. I was there with them for every step of the journey, and it was such a diverse cast, like not only racially but also neurodiverse, which was really cool, and I really enjoyed this. I loved this. I really loved this. I'm just so glad I read it. Number 7 is favorite new author, and for this one, this book I almost chose for the previous answer, but again, I'm trying not to like mix too many books together because this was also a really big surprise. But she's also a new author to me, and that is Mirage by Samaya Dodd. I did not expect anything going into this book. I truly did not have any expectations set when I started this book. I thought that it was just going to be like, okay. I never heard anyone talk about it, honestly. And even though the initial concept was really cool, like a girl who gets taken from her homeland just because she looks exactly like the princess and has to be her body double because the princess is really hated in the world, that all sounded pretty cool to me. And I remember initially being really excited for the book, but I just forgot about it. And I'm so happy that I picked it up by chance earlier this year for a readathon, and I adored it. It was such a mix. Like, I've really never read anything like this before because it was like fantasy but sci-fi, but also had a lot of historical elements, and it was just tackling a lot of things in such a small book, and it did it so well. Like, I didn't feel wanting in any of those aspects. I think that they all just meshed so perfectly together, and it has a really strong heart of rebellion, and also just kind of the bad people aren't always bad. And I think that's like one of my favorite tropes in general in anything, is when you kind of find out that like there's a reason for this surly person and how they act that way. Kind of like Prince Zuko vibes, you know? But like for the princess. Which is done better because in We Have the Flame I also related the prince's journey to Prince Zuko, and in that one it was kind of annoying, but in this one, now that I made the relation, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't trust my opinion. Apparently, I don't know. I also wanted to give a shout out to Leah Johnson, which is the author of You Should See Me in a Crown, because she is a debut author that I read last month and absolutely adored. It was just, this book really made me so happy. Like, I was feeling all the feelings throughout it all. But whenever I'm picking out books for these kinds of videos, I never think of contemporaries, and it's probably because my brain is so hardwired towards fantasy at this point, because I do, at the end of the day, like fantasy more than anything else. So I tend to forget about our good little contemporary friends, but this one was really good. I think that the writing was pretty spectacular, except for there was a part towards the end where she let out a breath she didn't know she was holding, but then right after that she like dropped something she didn't know she was holding, and then she did something else that that she didn't know she was doing, and I was like, okay, wait, is this trying to be ironic, or like was that really just an accident missed in editing? Because I thought it was hilarious. But other than that, it was really, really good. Highly recommend. Newest fictional crush. This one's kind of hard because it's one of the only ones that I have to talk about another book for, because I definitely have a crush either on Bryce or on Hunt, probably both, from Crescent City, but also maybe Danica. I'm really in love with everyone in that book. Overall, I normally crush pretty hard in books, but I haven't read any books this year that are very crush-worthy, at least like, well, no. I think that there is a pirate in All the Stars and Teeth, like the main pirate guy, which I can't remember his name, so how big was that crush? Probably not very big. He was also very attractive to me in the book. I tend to get like solid fictional crushes, but like I'm very loyal to my fictional crushes. I don't just like go around getting all these other fictional crushes. I have like one or two, like Rhysand, you know? He's still my fictional crush. Anyways, number 9 is newest favorite character, and for that one, I am going to go with the main character in Aquicorn Cove by Katie O'Neill. I think that her name was Lana, because she's just such a sweetheart. Like, it just made me really happy that this girl is just so ready to save other things. I don't know. She's so ready to try and turn everyone to saving nature, because at the end of the day, nature will pay you back. Like, you cannot expect to be able to throw your garbage in and be harmful to the planet and not have it be harmful back to you. And that was something that like she really tries to teach everyone in this village, and she's just like a little girl that like really believes in this, and I just was very touched by her. And she also seemed like she was going through her own stuff with her mother that had passed away previously, and I just really felt for her, and I really liked this story. Overall, Katie O'Neill can really do no wrong, but this is actually my new favorite Katie O'Neill book. So, question 10 is a book that made you cry. I don't cry very often, especially not while reading or watching TV shows or movies. It takes quite a bit to make me cry. I think that the closest I got was in Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. I think I've called it Crescent City this entire video when it's definitely called House of Earth and Blood. My bad. But that one, I got close, but I still didn't cry. Aquicorn Cove, I feel like I got close, but I didn't cry. And other than that, I haven't really read any books that like smacked me emotionally in that way. I mean, actually, You Should See Me in a Crown got me pretty close as well. So number 11 is a book that made you happy, and for this I really could have picked quite a few, but one that I haven't talked about yet that I honestly am just so glad that I started reading this year is Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. And this is the first book in the series for The Witcher. I went through a pretty hard, I mean, to be fair, I'm still always in my Witcher phase. I just force myself to not touch the video game, that way I don't remember, and that way I can actually be a productive member of my life, because if I'm playing the video game, I am not doing anything else. I love it. And I watched the show like 3 or 4 times. I was reading the book. It was just, it's all so good. And I was really just pleased overall with how Andrzej Sapkowski wrote The Witcher, and how well like the things like the video game and the TV show, in my opinion, portrayed him. Like, it was just a very similar feeling the entire time, and not everything can do that, you know? Like, not all book to video game / movie / TV adaptations have the same energy, and this all did, and that's why it made me happy. Also because I love Geralt of Rivia, who is me. When I play the video game, I am very convinced that I am Geralt of Rivia, not that I am playing Geralt of Rivia, so I told you, the obsession makes not a lot of sense. Number 12 is most beautiful book you've bought this year or received, and I have a couple for this. I mean, first of all, Crown of Feathers. Dang. Second of all, for received, the FairyLoot edition of Chain of Gold is just so stunning. I really love how clean it looks, but ever since I kind of saw it as a Bible, I can't unsee it, so that's kind of a bummer, because it's weird, you know, but whatever. But as far as book that I've bought, that's gonna be Uzumaki. I still have not picked this up, but can we just talk about how stunning this actual like hardcover is, just even from the clean spine to the beautiful cover, and I just know the artwork is so creepy. I mean, creepy. Like, it's just gonna be such a good book, and it's stunning. Also, actually, boop, 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 boop. I can't believe I almost forgot. I got this book this year, and that's Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Actually, one of you guys, one of my subscribers, reached out to me after they saw my bookshelf tour, basically saying that they had it, that they weren't really interested in ever getting the other ones, that they were going to get rid of it anyways, and they were wondering if I wanted it, and Thank you so much, because this has been amazing. I love it. It completes my little collection. And this unfortunately is discontinued. They only come out with a certain amount of these editions, and I get questions about them all the time on my shelves, but they're pretty hard to find. So this was a really, really cool thing for me this year. And number 13 is what book do you have to read by the end of this year? And literally all of them. There's so many books. I am so far behind in my reading goal for the year. I just want to be out of my slump, okay? Like, that's really all I want. But he's still here. One of them though is definitely going to be The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kong. I feel like this one has just been pressing on me lately. Like, I wanted to read this the moment that I finished the Poppy War. The Poppy War affected me so much last year in a good way, and Noria actually sent me The Dragon Republic and I was so stupidly grateful and so excited, and then I didn't read it. I don't know, but now that her third book is going to be coming out soon, I just really want to get on this. Like, I want to read this so that I can like be with everyone else as we read that third book, because I've been behind the entire time. So I really want to read this, hopefully this month. Well, who knows? And those are all the questions for this book tag today, which leads me in to the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. You guys know that I've worked with Skillshare quite a few times in the past, and I'm very, very fond of their service. If you weren't aware of who Skillshare is and what they do, Skillshare is this amazing online learning community with thousands upon thousands of classes where you can kind of build up on your existing passions or find new ones. What makes Skillshare unique is not only that it kind of creates a sense of community, because it does have discussion forums and class projects under each of the different classes you can take, but also that they can really fit into just about anyone's schedule. All of the classes tend to be around an hour long, and when you click in them, all of the little modules inside tend to be like 5 to 10 minutes long. You can really fit it in anywhere and pause and start as you need. And I really feel like this kind of distraction is just so important right now. I mean, we're still in quarantine. It's still really stressful. I feel like 2020 is only getting harder. So having something where you can distract yourself and kind of explore something creatively or that you've wanted to explore for quite a long time is just so wonderful. For me, I've really been, you know, delving into interior design and art, photography. I dabble in some productivity classes. I've just been kind of all over the map with Skillshare. One of the classes that I've recently found was actually Unlocking Your Potential: 5 Exercises to Build Creative Confidence by Emma Gannon. This class was not what I expected it when I first clicked on it, because it's actually more about self-sabotage and how to kind of detect that in yourself and how to climb that wall and become your best creative self and know your worth and know that you're worthy of doing certain things, which is something that I didn't really know that I needed in this time. I've been having a creative block. I've been having, I feel like, a life block for quite a long time, since November. And to kind of watch this sort of video talking about self-sabotage and talking about how to kind of detect these patterns and believe in yourself was just so good for me, and I really recommend anyone who might struggle with those kinds of issues to watch this video. I think it's very useful, and it's really quick to top it off, which is always cool. So if you did want to try out this class, Skillshare has actually given me a link for you guys, and the first 1,000 of my subscribers that click on that link in the description box below will actually be given their first 2 months of the premium membership for free. And even once this membership is over, it is still a super affordable service at less than $10 per month for an annual subscription. So yeah, thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Thank you for being such a supporter of my channel, and I really hope that you guys get to find something cool by searching through their classes. So other than that though, that's gonna be it for this tag today. I hope you guys like the more chill tone of it, less reviewy, more chit-chatty, and let me know some of your highlights and lowlights of this first half of 2020. I feel like we've all been having a year, but yeah, that'll be it for this video today, guys. I love you all so much. I hope you're staying super safe, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye! I hope I stay in focus. Come in. Which... Number 10 is a book that made you cry. Okay. Weird.
Why weird?
It's like very lime, but no spice. Okay, sorry, taco meat. Oh. Oh. I feel like I had a lip gloss. But what was I saying? Oh yeah.